Hi there, Spectre here and welcome back to Aircraft Model Reviews, and in today's episode we are going to take a look at this very long 757-300 from Delta Airlines, which came in earlier today at Review Airport from Atlanta and will be going out within, well, about 45 minutes. We got some cargo and baggage being loaded, refueling is going on, so let's take a quick look at this one before it heads back to the United States. Alright, and here she is up close, and right off the bat I can note one fault. Either the main landing gear is too low or the nose gear is too high, which makes the aircraft tilt to the rear very badly. To be honest, it looks quite weird. But without further ado, let's take a look at the front of this aircraft. Starting at the cockpit, where we can see the cockpit windows and we have the window wipers included. And again, I have a little fault to note here. The cockpit windows, in my opinion, look a little bit weirdly shaped and placed. It just doesn't feel right. At least if you ask me. Anyway, moving on to the side, we can see the writing of Delta, and we have the Delta logo, and next to the first passenger door we have the SkyTeam logo, of which Delta Airlines is a member. Then moving on to the engines, we can look here at the nacelles, which have been given this nice Delta dark blue coloring. It looks very nicely detailed. And when we look at the front of the engine, we can see the engine fan blades, which also looks very nice as usual. Now moving on to the back side of the engines, which has been detailed quite nicely, and we can also see the main landing gear, which, as I said earlier, might be a little bit too low. Or the nose gear might be too high. Then moving on to the wings, and more specifically to the top of the wings, where we can see all the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out, and we also have the markings as to where to evacuate the aircraft when you move through the emergency exits. And then on the other underside of the wings, we can see the flaps and slats once more, but no further details than that. Then another aspect of the wings are of course the winglets, which has been given this nice Delta dark blue as well. Now moving on to the back of the aircraft, we can see on the vertical stabilizer the infamous Delta branding, and on the top of the vertical stabilizer we actually have an internal registration code. The full registration code we can find on the fuselage of the aircraft next to the American flag. Then at the rear of the aircraft we can see the APU has also been included as well, which looks very nice. But here I have another fault to note. You can see that the aircraft is tilted slightly to the right. This is because the main landing gear is a little bit uneven, which is a very irritating fault if you ask me. If I noted this when I bought it, it would have been a real deal breaker, believe me. Then a few last details to note are of course the cargo doors here at the back, and of course also here at the front of the aircraft. Alright, so that's it for this 757-300 from Delta Airlines. Now, do I recommend it? With that amount of faults I noted in this episode, no, I definitely don't, to be honest. It just looks weird, tilting very much to the rear. And of course, with the uneven landing gear, tilting it to the right, it just looks very weird and quite bad, to be honest. And also the cockpit, it just looks weirdly shaped and weirdly placed, if you ask me. So I actually don't recommend this one, except if you are a fan of Delta Airlines and you want to complete your collection with this model. Then of course go get it, but otherwise, no, spend your money on another aircraft model. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Now if you liked it, please hit that like button, that would be very much appreciated. And why not hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes from this series or any other series. Alright, and if you have any feedback, comments or whatever, you can leave them in the comments below. Now that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. This is Spectre signing off. See you next time.